Thanks for joining us today on PCG Television as we talk about the developmental journey of children. So, this is the program where we do so, and the program is called Growing Up Healthy. We believe that when our children have the needed developmental stages, or they go through the developmental stages well in their lives, they will thrive. And then parents, of course, will all be happy. Today we're going to discuss occupational therapy. When do children need them? What are what exactly is occupational therapy? One may ask. But I have the expert here from COI Pediatrics, that is Dr. Christina. She's going to tell us a lot about it and when it is needed. So, for every child to gain his or her full dependence means a complete development of all the skills, motor, and sensory. Obviously, one child's development differs from the other. However, it becomes a reason of concern if at a particular age the independence of the child is not fully exhibited. Occupational therapy may be recommended then if the child has a health issue that makes it hard to learn these activities on their own. So, we're going to find out more. Doc, thanks for joining us again today.
Thank you for having
All
me
right.
again.
I like the t-shirt. One of these days I have to get some and then I will just roll in them, rock and roll in them. I
Well
know.
noted.
Koi Pediatrics. You're doing well anyway.
Thank you.
You're doing well for our children. Today, we want to talk about occupational therapy. What is it? What at all is that big word, occupational therapy, and how did it find its way into our children's health or developmental growth?
I know
Hmm,
because people think if you get an accident in the workplace, then
exactly.
occupational and health people will come in.
Exactly. Hazards and
I
things.
know, but
Mhm.
then for children, the occupational therapist's job
Hmm,
is to help you develop, regain, or be able to do all the activities that ensure your independence
okay.
or activities of daily living.
Hmm,
Yes. And so the skills that you need for your daily living and to be able to be independent are things that if you are not able to attain them on your own, then the occupational therapist comes in to help you to be able to do that. Because without that, it becomes difficult to cope and to fit into the world. And so for children, some of the areas which requires the services of the occupational therapist. One, fine motor. When we talk about fine motor, my ability to hold a pencil
hmm,
and write, my ability to pick things. If I'm not able to have that kind of grip, we say there's a problem with my fine motor. And so that is something that is in the domain of the occupational therapist. It's not treated by being beaten.
hmm, okay.
Or sometimes at home, we parents decide to do it ourselves. We'll be scolding the child,
Hmm,
shouting at the
hmm,
child, and then we end up making our children even resent learning
hmm.
because it is that time of the day when she's going to be at the mercy of your
Beating and
beating and
shouting.
all. And this child has no control over it. And so that's the area of fine motor. And
Mm,
then for sensory integration, understanding sound, and being able to cope with the noise and other things that is in the environment. Some children struggle with it, and so they need occupational therapists for them to be able to modulate with self care activities, potty training, wearing a dress. These are things we take for granted, but it's challenging for some children. And they are things that the occupational therapist helps people to deal with. And then also they help with social skills and play. So some children don't understand that when we are playing, we take turns. It's
exactly.
okay for somebody
To
to go
lose.
to go ahead
Yeah.
of me.
Mm,
And so they overreact or sometimes under stimulation, overstimulation, and they don't cope well. So these are areas that the occupational therapist come in.
mm,
In fact, some child, even a child who can't sit still, they need coping mechanisms. And I always say, if I can't sit still, I cannot learn, I cannot listen, I cannot recite. So then it affects all other areas of this child's life, and that's in the domain of the occupational
So
therapist.
it's not about an adult, or it's not about a child
Going to
getting
learn a
injured
trade.
exactly, or going to
No,
learn a trade
no,
whatsoever.
no,
Mm,
no. For pediatrics,
mm,
their roles are these ones, and they can start work in a child as, I mean, around 1 year, you realize that the child has flags, the occupational therapist can come in. So if
okay.
this child can't sit still,
Mm,
2 years, he's all over the place, running around.
mm,
He won't even look at you, let alone hear you. The child has its challenges.
okay.
And so in this child, the occupational therapist will make a world of difference. If the child can't talk and can't sit still, don't go to the speech and language therapist first. The occupational therapist will have to help this child to be able to sit and focus and concentrate before I can say a word and he will repeat after me. Because some children come and it's like a tornado just passed through, everything is upside
ADH
down.
people.
See, they benefit a lot from the occupational therapist.
But do we
They
have
do.
these occupational therapists around
Yes. Now
easily?
they are being trained in Ghana, so
Mm, okay.
we do have, we
Mm,
do have. So unlike, let's say, 10 years ago,
mm.
when it was like you have to come from maybe Aburuchiri or
Exactly.
something.
Exactly.
No, now
You
they
even
are
have to
available.
probably take the child out there. Mm,
Yes. Even in my facility, I have two who come in part time.
mm.
So yes, so we do have occupational therapists.
So how is it different with probably the treatment of children with occupational therapists with that of adults? Do we have differences, or maybe
Yes,
okay?
there will be differences.
Mm,
For adults, for example, if somebody has just had a stroke
okay.
and is going to have to learn to grip and all
Mm,
those things again,
mm.
yes, then the occupational therapist
Will
will help
come
them
in.
to regain their activities of daily living. But for the child, he's not even had it and lost it.
Mm.
So he's now going to be taught to develop it and to master it. But they work with adults and children alike.
Is it all about physical, or maybe include some behaviors as well?
They do because I talked about social
Exactly, the social
developmental.
development.
Yes. And so if I am always running around and hitting people, the
Okay.
occupational therapist will help me to know that it's inappropriate behavior. It's not right to be hitting
Mm,
people. And they will teach me to know how to manage my frustrations better. So it's an interesting place. It's an
okay.
interesting field, I
Mm,
must say. Yes. The more you get to understand their work, the more valuable you see them.
mm.
Yes. And so for children with developmental challenges, a lot of them benefit a lot from the services of the occupational therapist. Yes.
But is it so? Can we say that it is only for children with diagnosed conditions, certain diagnosed conditions?
Actually, yes, because it's always beneficial when a clinician has identified the need.
Mm,
Yes. Sometimes people walk into their practice and they will even send you back to maybe a developmental. In fact, all the therapists or the subspecialties, they are aware of it. So they normally are not greedy people to hold on
exactly.
to what is not theirs.
Hmm.
And so
So,
if
so
you
is
come,
is more of letting the right doctor take care of you, or the
yes,
right
or they
specialist take
take
care of
care of
you.
you. So if he thinks that this child's problem is not purely, or he needs other groups
Mm,
of people to assist, he or she will refer. But normally, it's always best for the clinician or the pediatrician to manage it when it comes to children because they do more of the coordination. And so I know that I sent Kweku to the occupational therapist and I tell the occupational therapist what the issues are.
mm,
And so he knows what he's supposed to work towards or what he's supposed to work on. And then we all have clear milestones of
exactly.
what our expectations are. So it's not like go till you can go no more.
Mm-hmm.
Within 3 months, four
Mm,
months, we are supposed to review
okay.
and see what are the gains and which areas are left. Good. And so that's how we work. So they put in the time, and if you work with them well, within 2, 3 months, 4 months, we should see improvement. Not total recovery, but you know that, oh, now the child can sit for an hour. and do something. Oh, great. So now we can let him begin to arrange blocks.
Okay.
We can let him begin to hold a pencil because now he can hold the blocks. So that's how they work. But somebody should always be looking at how all they are doing fits into the bigger picture.
So, do I take such a child to school, or I have to let the child be home and seek the assistance of the occupational therapist until the child is able to be able, especially with the fine motor that you were talking about, ability to hold probably the pencil or something? Because when I take the child to crutch, the child is coloring but cannot hold the color to color. Teacher will not be happy with the child. A lot of issues are coming in from school. What do I do as a parent?
So the child can go to school for starters
Okay.
because we have occupational therapists who work with children at home, and we have those who do therapy in school. So they are school-based needs. So for example, holding the crayon. So the school OT will help this child learn to hold the
In a
crayon.
school where there is no OT.
Interestingly, now some schools are ready to let the OT come into the school and assist the child. And so yes, and then sometimes they will teach the class teacher a few things as to how to help this child. So keeping the child at home is not the solution, because if you know that there's a problem in the occupational therapist or
Doc,
the school will
let's talk
come in.
about this our public school, not like Montessori. So you will come there. You're going for a very quick break, after which we'll come back and discuss what occupational therapy is all about. When do I see this in my child? How do I support my child? How do I communicate even well with my child if I see that in my child?
Welcome to Koi Pediatrics.
Well, thanks for staying on. Still watching PCG TV, and this is Growing Up Healthy, where we engage experts, especially pediatricians, to tell us the developmental growth or stages or the journey of our children. We need to have them but we need to have them thrive. We have to ensure that they thrive so that they become the doctors, the engineers, the business tycoons that we all want them to become. We are discussing occupational therapy. When does a child need it? Doctor was telling us about the fact that especially with the fine motor ability to pick up things, ability to pick a pencil to write when the sensories are not working well, understanding of sounds, and then the self care priorities, that's the potty training and everything, is very, very important. When your child is unable to do all of these, you need to seek assistance. But the question we are asking is, do we even have these occupational therapists around to help our children? How do we get them? And when we get them, how should parents, together with the occupational therapist, help to grow up this child? Before we left off, we were talking about the fact that, do we even have them in our schools? So Doc will help us and where to go. I am not taking my child to a Montessori.
Which is true.
Exactly. I am a parent who can take my child to the basic school,
Which is true.
and there might not be an OT there. What should I do?
So normally now, because they are, I mean, you're right. They
Mm.
are not stationed in every school,
Mm.
but then they are available. So sometimes they go to the schools to assist the child. You have two options. There are some GES schools which are made for children with special needs,
Okay.
or some are trying to integrate. So there's the regular child, there are the regular students, and then they accommodate children with special
Special
needs.
needs.
So they may have teachers who support the
Mm.
children with special needs. But from my practice, there are some schools, even private schools, who are accommodating.
Mm.
And so if you go to the hospital and you are assigned an occupational therapist, it's two things. One, either you do your therapy outside the school and then they share information with the class teachers and the attendants
Mm.
as to how to help this child. And trust me, if your class teacher knows that a child has a challenge, half of your
Exactly.
problem is solved.
Exactly, because I wanted to find out from there, because the children spend much time at school than probably home.
Correct.
But if the child goes to crèche and is unable to hold the crayon, he or she is being beaten every time.
Correct.
Every morning the child is crying, doesn't want to go
To
to
go to
school.
school.
Mama
Absolutely.
is unable to find out the reason baby will cry every day or child is crying every day and doesn't want to go to school. But when the child closes, will come home and is happy.
Yes. And
How
let me
do
add a bit of insult to the injury. And mommy has been told that this child doesn't like writing. So
exactly?
when
So what
she
are we
comes
doing?
home and he's playing, the mommy starts scolding him. This is all you know. Play, play. Go and sit down. Go and bring your book and let's write.
Mm,
And then the problem starts again at home.
exactly.
And so, yes, so when you identify the problem, for example, the therapist sends a note or the doctor sends a note to the school that the child has a problem and we are helping the child solve it, half of the problem is
So
solved. So then this child no more becomes the object of abuse
exactly.
because now the teacher or the caretaker is aware there's a challenge and empathy and accommodation comes in.
Mm.
So even if this therapist will not go to the school, message has gone to the school. And most of the time, they will go to the school, or they will send a note as to what the teacher can do in school to help the child. Parents will be educated on what to do to help the child. And so, mommy knows what she has to do at home. She's told the class teacher, and they are in sync, doing the same thing. So, the child will go for his therapy section. They will be giving, parents will be given what to do whilst away, and they share it with the class teacher.
So it means that parents should be responsible. It boils down to this.
I think education of your child, parents are more than 50%
Mm.
stakeholders. Until we get that into our mind,
Mm.
well, we always assume it's somebody's responsibility and we get shortchanged
Mm.
because you pay for a service, but you are not monitoring or you are not actively involved.
Mm.
So when you have a child with special needs, I must say that the parent will have to be very involved because you are the best person to give feedback to both the therapist and to the class teacher. So yes,
But
but
is
it
it
does not mean the parent will have to stop work and do
exactly?
everything.
Is
No.
it every time with this occupational? Is it every time with children with special needs, or probably the child is just unable to hold a pen, a pencil, a crayon to color?
Yes. So
Yeah.
if I'm not able to hold a pencil or pen, I
Mm.
think I have a special
Yeah.
need, right?
Okay. Then it means there is
There is
something
I have a
happening.
challenge.
Okay.
Good. If I cannot sit
Mm.
still in class
Mm.
and participate in activities,
Mm.
I have a
There's
challenge.
something.
Okay. I use the school with special needs
Mm.
because whenever there's a challenge, but now in the educational stream, yes. So if I can't focus on any activities that we are doing as a group, and I'm fighting every time there's a group activity, I have a challenge. I hope you understand me. So all those issues that does not make me fit well in class are challenges,
Mm.
and you can be helped.
So there is help. Is it
There
so
is help.
expensive? It could be.
It's not that
Mm.
expensive looking at the cost of the problem lingering on.
Mm.
Yes, so it's like a regular consult,
Okay.
but then the expense comes in your time.
Mm.
The minimum will be every week you are supposed to go for a session.
Mm.
And so you have to make the time. But trust me, from my experience, if you, the parent, makes the time, within 3 months, maximum 6 months, you see a lot of improvement
Wow.
and they will graduate your child eventually.
Well, okay.
Yes, so it's not like something that happens forever.
Not a dead end.
No,
Okay.
they are helping you address identified challenges. So mine was I wasn't sitting still, I was fighting. In 3 months, I'm able to sit
Okay.
and do my own work. I'm
Mm.
able to scribble.
Mm.
Why will the therapist continue to help me to
Mm.
write? Then he may help me manage my emotions now. Yes. And so it's something that really helps. And so instead of you, the parent, moving the child from one school to the other because he goes here, they complain about him, and you get tired, then
Exactly.
you change schools and you change, and changing the schools don't solve your problem. But when you get help for the child, he will thrive in the school that you are most comfortable with, and it's a win-win.
Mm.
It's a win-win.
It's a win-win situation where parents would get to know what is exactly happening to the child, speak to the teacher about it, and then get a therapist for a child who cannot sit quietly, for that child who cannot write, who cannot really hold a pencil and a pen or a crayon to even color. There is support, there is help. Let's seek it and we can get it. Let's go for a quick break.
Welcome to Koi Pediatrics.
We're still talking about occupational therapy. When do our children need it? Doctor has explained a lot of things to us. She spoke about the fine motor, sensory, the care, that is the potty training, skill, social skills. So I want to find out from her, at what point do we need this? And again, when does the child need the occupational therapist? That the day-to-day activities that probably the child may be going through or may be exhibiting at home that needs occupational therapist. So, doc, at what point the day-to-day activities that I would say that as for this, apart from the writing, apart from understanding of sounds, apart from probably the child would be poo-pooing on himself whatsoever, what are some of the other things that we can share with us?
Let me make it easy for parents.
Mm.
We have developmental milestones. You can even go online
Mm.
in our child welfare books,
The
the weighing
weighing
book.
part, yeah.
Yes, when you look in the book,
Mm.
there's so much information.
Mm.
So if you realize that the things we've listed for your child, he's not doing some,
Mm.
watch a bit, and then you may need help.
Okay.
And so, for example, if your child is not able to button his shirt,
Mm.
he's like 2 years, he can't lace his shoe. Those are all things that a child needs help. That means this child has a challenge with his fine motor skills.
Okay.
Okay, so it's not just waiting till you get to class one
Mm.
and then you can write. No, he cannot just do, or he can, his hand eye coordination, he struggles with coordination.
Okay.
So those are things that we take for granted.
Mm.
Yes, if you ask, he just can't look and do. So for such a child, that means he needs help.
Mm.
And that help will be well provided by the
Occupational
occupational
therapist.
therapist. Yes, it's not enough to say, oh, just encourage him or scold at him at your age. You can't even lace your shoe.
Mm.
No. If he really wanted, if he could, he won't wait for your scolding, because nobody wants to be scolded. And then we have children who struggle with texture, sound.
Okay.
They can't, there's noise and they are holding their ears. Yes. And
Is
then
is
touch.
it, those ones are autistic or
Yes,
probably?
they are yes.
Mm.
Some, those children with autism tend to exhibit some of these features, but it's not
Okay.
every child who has a problem with touch, sound,
Okay.
and texture who is
Mm.
autistic.
Okay.
Yes, but so the children with autism benefit a lot from the occupational
The
therapist,
therapist. That's fine.
because they need help with the sensory integration,
Mm.
and so they get a lot of benefit from the occupational
Mm.
therapist. Yes, so I agree with you.
Mm.
So, and then their response to the overstimulation, if there is noise, are they going to hit people because there's so much noise? No. He gets to understand that it's okay to have noise. You can move away if you don't
Mm.
want the noise, but it does not mean that everybody should be punished for your, because
Exactly.
you had noise
You
in
can
your ear.
have none.
Yes. Self-care.
Mm.
A child should be able to feed himself. Okay. I mean, it's different from when you want to be loving to a fault, when you want to feed a 5-year-old, but he should be able to put his own thing in his mouth. And so if he's not able to do all these things independently, then you know that he may need help.
Okay.
But let me caution parents, create the opportunity for the child to do it himself.
Okay.
Because for self-care, sometimes it's parents inflicted,
Ow.
because we won't let the child do anything.
Okay.
So if I've never allowed this child to feed himself,
Mm.
to
Button the
bath,
shirt.
yes, brush his teeth,
Teeth.
and I go and say that he cannot do it, so he needs therapy. No.
So doc, you're talking about the brushing of teeth.
Mhm.
When should I allow my child? Probably the child is 2 years. Should I allow 3 years? Should I allow my child to brush his own teeth?
Why not?
Okay.
I say yes.
Mm.
When he finishes, then I do the mop up.
Which is the
So
final cleaning.
thank you.
Okay.
So he's learning the art of brushing.
Mm.
He may not do it well,
Exactly.
but he should do it.
Mm.
When he's done, I'll go and do my mommy's top up,
Oh, okay.
so that he doesn't end up with horrible mouth because I allowed him to brush his teeth. But he's learning the art of brushing.
Okay. Of all swallowing all the
It's okay.
fluoride.
It's okay.
All right.
It's okay.
Mm.
We all used to even sneak away and go and eat it.
A bit
Yes.
because of the mint.
You know the thing. But it won't kill the child.
Exactly.
He's learning, and he won't swallow the fluoride for 3 years.
Exactly.
First time he gets it wrong. By 3 months, he says spit it out. Half will come out. So you've taught him the art of that. Oh, we don't swallow fluoride. We bring it out.
So should allow them to do
Let
things
them
by
do
themselves.
things. Let them try and button. He buttons, he gets it wrong. We correct him. But don't say you don't know how to do it. Let me button and let's go.
We don't have
No.
time, though.
Well, the day you signed up to be a parent, I'll repeat it. You signed up to make time for the child to go through his learning curve. And I can't reiterate that enough. In under the guise of we don't have time. I don't know what the time is for anyway.
We are busy.
Doing what?
Traffic. We have to beat and
And get
deadlines.
more and do
Yeah.
what again? Why are we
And
doing all that?
for them.
Good. But we are producing inefficient human beings. So whatever we are saving for them, they'll waste it for us. That's
Anyway,
where
help
we
us
have
with
to
the other
understand.
centuries.
That's one thing I have to understand. And then also being able to attention and execution of
Mm,
tasks, completing tasks, focusing,
mm,
managing transitions. Some children don't do well at all when they are moving from maybe one class to another, or routines. He wakes up, he has to do this, he doesn't know. Those are things that if you don't help the child to master it, as he grows up, it becomes problematic. If you have a 10-year-old who is going to school and has forgotten to even wear his school uniform, has forgotten to
mm.
brush his teeth, it gets very
So it means
frustrating.
all of these that you are saying, you have to pick them up early.
Yes.
Probably by the 2 years that we spoke of,
Yes.
the milestones,
And not
everything, and not marching, we
you
should.
look for help,
Okay.
and then your clinician will advise you what kind of help
Mm.
is best for your
What
child.
what would be that long term effect or short term effect if it is left untreated?
If it's left
Mm.
untreated, the child person has problems with activities of daily living and being independent.
Okay.
So he becomes a problem.
Mm.
Very clumsy child, a very, in fact, clumsy adult.
Mm.
Child is nice, he's cute, but an adult who
Mm.
is clumsy is a problem. Yes. He can't cope. He has outbursts, he's fighting, he's frustrated with himself. And so, but the challenge is if we don't seek help early, then it becomes more and more difficult to help the child to fit. So the earlier we get help, by 5 years, most of the challenges have been sorted out and your child is fine.
So, are there some simple activities? Probably you can say that parents can take the kids to. I think you have mentioned some, so you can help us with more as we wrap up. We are almost ending up the show, so help us with what parents should really do, finding the condition early, and then liaising with the therapist or the classroom, the teacher, to help the child so that it doesn't become a clumsy adult, and what will be some of the daily routines you could add up so we
Okay.
can get the strength of that child coming up as far as the fine motor, the self-care, sensory
And
and
all
social
the big
skills
words, right?
coming in. Exactly, we
I
are
know.
learning.
So yes, I think for me, the first thing is create the opportunity for the child to practice. That's when you realize that I have a problem. But if we don't create the opportunity for them to practice, then we create a problem for them. So, for example, everything, look, let me start scribbling in the house, okay? Get me a place to scribble. Don't tell me you have white walls, so I shouldn't write on your walls. Please, if you, as my daughter once told me, that the reason why she wrote on my wall was that I didn't give her anything to write on.
You didn't give a white border blackboard.
Trust me, I just looked
Exactly.
at the girl and I didn't have anything to say. So I got a big.
Exactly, to write on.
Yes, you are practicing with a child, and the child, you are doing it over and over again, and he's not getting it. You know that, oh, my child may have a problem. Okay. And so let's create the opportunity. Let's let them have fun
Mm,
trying and getting it wrong. And when they get it wrong, let's not scold them,
mm,
encourage them. And I was saying that as you do these everyday things with them, then when there is a challenge, you notice it early. And when you notice it early, sometimes the therapy period is not long.
mm.
You get a few pointers as to what to do. They help the child early. And within, let's say, 3 months, you see significant improvement. And if it's a small problem, then problem solved, therapy ended. It's history. Thank you.
Problem solved, therapy ended, is history. Within 3 months, you are good to go. So, doctor is saying that there is help, there is assistance. Let's help the children to explore, get them the opportunity to practice more. Allow them, allow them with whatever they are doing so you'll be able to identify the problem and get it solved. That is all time will allow us today on Growing Up Healthy. Join us again for another interesting episode next week. Thanks for watching.